I grew up in a family business that my parents started the year I was born. So the house we used to live in was a two-story building. The auto body shop was on the first floor, and we lived on the second floor. So I remember the smell of paint thinner when I was growing up. And at that time, all the mechanics, maybe 15 or 20 of them, lived with us in a sort of like a attached dormitory. So my grandmother and another person would make 3 meals a day, prepare their bath. So I was sort of raised by a group of people. When I was about 12, we moved to a new house in a new suburban development, new school. And that's when I sort of got serious about competitive swimming. And throughout my middle school and high school years, I swam 2 to 3 times a day, every single day. When I was a competitive swimmer, we had a couple exchanges between a swim team in California and my swim team. We hosted a group of swimmers from swim team in California. Got to know them, stayed in touch, had a great time. A couple years later, they invited us to their swim team to practice with. So I ended up coming to California, spent a couple of weeks there, had a host family, had an incredible, wonderful time. So I've always had a fond impression and memories of this country. So my mother talked to my host mother-to-be, and she is a Japanese woman. At the time, she was probably in her early to mid 50s, had hosted a bunch of students from around the world. And she told my mother, if you want your child to study, you got to send your child here, not to California. Because once you send your child to California, they're not going to study. They're going to have so much fun. So that's how Minnesota was chosen. My host parents gave me a map of the Twin Cities, and I had to learn the major freeway system to get to school. And I drove to the university most of the days, and it was about a 15-minute drive. During that time, I said that I recited the ABCs, like A to Z, and numbers like 1 to 200 or whatever loud during my drive, because I knew my pronunciation was so good. So that's how I practiced. And having born and raised in a family business, I knew I wanted to be on my own, and I wanted to have my own business. So that's when I left the university and got into real estate. And it's been an interesting and fulfilling experience at the same time. I work with clients from around the world, diverse backgrounds in every imaginable way. And to be able to take part in their, especially putting roots in this country, is very meaningful. And we stay in touch for many years and become good friends. So that's very exciting and meaningful to me. My husband works for an airline, so I get to visit my parents very often. There is an expression, and that's called oyakoko, and it means something like, you know, as a child, your obligation to repay, do something good, and to your parents and repay your parents, something like that. So in a way, through my airline benefits, I'm able to visit my parents very often.